There are a lot of superhero universes out there, but none have been growing in its own way like Spider-Man character universe. Meaning that while Spider-Man was loaned to Marvel Studios, Sony, who owns the movie rights to the character, can make films starring any of his rogues gallery or allies. Now, one of which you are likely familiar with is via Venom. But the other movie that is just literally waiting for its release date is that of Morbius, aka The Living Vampire. But what do we know about the film despite all of its delays? Allow us to show you Morbius, the top 8 things you need to know.
Michael Morbius. Got tired of doing the whole good guy thing, huh?
What's up, Doc?
Number 8. First look. The first trailer for Morbius, see above, premiered on January 13th, 2020, and not only provided a synopsis of the events that led to scientist Michael Morbius becoming the film's vampiric anti-hero, but in a surprising final scene also linked the film to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. After running through a series of scenes that hint at how Leto's character acquires his powerful abilities and thirst for blood, then showcasing some of those abilities, the trailer features a scene with Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes, the villain from Spider-Man Homecoming. How that MCU film will connect to Morbius does remain unclear, but the film's connection to Marvel's movie universe in addition to Sony's Spider-Verse is certain to generate a lot of speculation.
The ability to use echolocation.
Number 7. Background and plot. In Marvel Comics lore, Morbius was a brilliant biochemist whose efforts to cure his own rare blood disorder result in him acquiring powerful abilities along with an insatiable hunger for blood. He first appeared in a 1971 issue of The Amazing Spider-Man and is the creation of Roy Thomas and Gil Kane, giving him the distinction of being the first Spider-Man villain not created by Stan Lee. The film cast Jared Leto as Michael Morbius and appears to follow the character's Marvel Comics origin story relatively close, with the first trailer showing Leto's character desperately attempting to cure the blood disease afflicting him. His efforts push him toward potential treatments involving bats, and the rest is, well, vampire superhero history. Over the years, Morbius fought against and alongside Spider-Man at various points in Marvel Comics, often while struggling to control his vampiric hunger. It is unknown exactly where his moral compass will point in the film, and the Morbius trailer doesn't seem to offer many clues. Like Venom, Morbius spent a considerable amount of time as a violent vigilante in the comics, often using criminals to sate his cravings for blood.
Blah, 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 blah.
Number 6. Jared Leto. Jared Leto didn't exactly win over comic fans with his supporting performance as the Joker in 2016 Suicide Squad, mainly because of Warner Brothers not doing him justice by cutting out a lot of his footage. #release the Ayer cut. But he's getting a second chance with the lead role in Morbius. An Academy Award winner, Leto was cast in the film's lead role in June of 2018. Nearly a year later, we got our first look at him on the set of the film, courtesy of an animated image he posted on Twitter. The photo was accompanied by a cryptic caption that hinted at the film's dark tone. Because no one else will walk this path, this place of shadows, where we do what must be done, no matter the cost.
Until the remedy.
Number 5. The Crew. Joining Leto in the film's cast will be a host of familiar faces. Good Omens actress Adria Arjona will play Morbius' love interest. Former Doctor Who star Matt Smith will play Loxias Crown, an established Marvel character who's had his history tweaked for the film and will now reportedly be a former friend of Morbius who suffers from a similar blood disorder. He is joined by Chernobyl actor Jared Harris, who will play a mentor role to Morbius, as well as Tyrese Gibson, who will play FBI agent Simon Stroud. As revealed in the Morbius trailer, they will be joined by Michael Keaton as Adrian Toomes, the villain he played in Spider-Man Homecoming. It's unknown how much of a role Keaton will have in the film, as it's entirely possible that he'll simply just have a cameo that serves to link Morbius to the greater Spider-Verse and MCU.
Is worse than the disease.
Number 4. A different Spider-Verse. Morbius will be set in the same universe as Venom, making it likely that the events in the latter film could be referenced in the former, and given a certain post-credit sequence in Venom Let There Be Carnage, things are going to get very interesting in this shared universe should it be allowed to grow. The first trailer for Morbius offered a clear indication that elements of the Marvel Cinematic Universe will also exist in Sony's Spider-Verse, with Michael Keaton reprising his Spider-Man Homecoming role for the film. A scene in Morbius also features Leto's character walking by a poster of Spider-Man, the first official acknowledgement of the MCU superhero in Sony's Spider-Verse so far. Along with Venom and Morbius, Sony also has several other film projects in the works based on Spider-Man's allies, enemies, and supporting characters. Those include the villain team-up movie The Sinister Six, as well as films based on the character Madam Web, Black Cat, Silver Sable, and Kraven the Hunter, among others. Although Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and all of these characters are connected to the famous web-slinger, it is unknown whether Spider-Man will ever appear in any of the films. However, the brief feud between Sony and Disney and Marvel Studios that saw Spider-Man temporarily leave the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as well as the introduction of the multiverse concept in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Far From Home, and the link to the character in the Morbius trailer, all suggest that Sony's vision for the wall crawler could bring him into that universe at some point.
Business is good.
Number 3. Sinister Six? A big question that has been perking comic book fans' ears for years is that of a potential crossover that would lead to the big screen formation of the Sinister Six. They are a group formed of Spider-Man villains who come together for one reason or another to beat the wall crawler once and for all. Vulture is seen as the first person in that group, and Morbius could be another. Add that to characters like Kraven, Black Cat, and maybe even Venom, and things could get very interesting very quickly. Granted, we don't know for sure that this is happening, and it's very possible, given how this universe is taking its sweet time to form, that we might not even get this at all. But if it does happen, it'll be something very unique, or at the very least something interesting to watch if done right.
What the hell?
Dude, how did you do that?
Apparently I have a parasite.
Number 2, but will it be good? Well, that is definitely a question that many are asking at this point. Because while it's absolutely fair to say that this isn't the first superhero film to be delayed, Disney just announced more delays for their upcoming films, it is fair to say that, like Venom, Morbius is going to be seen as a big risk to Sony, mainly because it's a deep-cut character. Venom at least is iconic because of his appearances in the cartoons, comics, his progression as a character, and love it or hate it, his appearance in Spider-Man 3. Morbius doesn't have that. Yes, he has been in animated series before, but it's also true that his presence in the mainstream isn't that well known. Venom got away with some of its lesser qualities because of its campy feel and Tom Hardy's performance. They can't count on that happening again with Morbius. Plus, all the delays are going to be giving people questions about how good or how bad the film really is. So yeah, there's a lot of questions going on here.
An overpowering urge to consume blood.
Number 1. Venom? Director Daniel Espinosa all but confirmed that Tom Hardy's Venom appears in Morbius while speaking with the Swedish website Moviezine. It usually feels strange before the day begins when you look at the schedule and stand on the set yourself, he said. When you walk around there, the recording just looks like a Swedish production, and then when you look at the schedule and read names like Michael Keaton, Jared Leto, Tom Hardy, then it feels cool and very exciting. But once you start working, it's exactly the same thing. An actor wants a director, and actors want to be directed. And that could tease many possible things. Now granted, we don't know how Venom connects to this, but it is possible going to be an end credit sequence to tie the two universes together. And if so, fans are in for a wild ride. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at Morbius and everything that might just happen in the movie? Do you think that the movie will be good once it comes out? When do you think we'll see the next trailer for it? Are you hoping that Jared Leto pulls off the character well? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.